cat planets actually had cat ears. And so this is why, you'll notice prominently that I've outlined ears. So it looks like the planets are more cat-like. And they were able to navigate in space more easily because they could recognize the planets because they had ears. And other planets that weren't friendly to cats did not have the ears. So, okay, so here we have the Kepler 62 system. And actually, this is showing a wormhole, which is something that you can read about. This idea in physics that space can actually fold, and then you can go from one place to another by folding the fabric of space. Well, the connection between Earth and here, Earth and Lemuria, is the connection between the star Vega and Earth. So as its pole star, it's in a straight line. And as it's a straight line, there's some of the other planets. And it's kind of lost to knowledge, like what the other planets were named. But we know that the main one was Lemuria. Okay, so to enter Lemuria, the spaceships, the little cat ships, they would go right through the mouth. And it was a kind of a defensive thing, They could open and close the mouth of the planet. They actually lived inside the planet. So this is, entering. They're entering the planet right now. And you can see the kind of space helmets that the cats used for their interplanetary travels around the cat constellation of Lyra. And here. So this is the interior of Lyra, and it actually was pretty overpopulated. They had a lot of cats, and because cats breed, and they were breeding pretty heavily in Lyra, and so it's not unlike Earth in certain respects. I mean, this cat here seems to be something of a disaffected city dweller who's facing the difficulties of industrial feline world. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that the industry of cats was not done based on the physical. Cats use their minds to get what they wanted, and they still do. Have any of you ever seen the movie The Cat from Outer Space, the Disney film? Yeah, that is a really on-point film because the cat uses its mind and can control the world around it. And so that's what cats on Lemuria would do. So everything was generated based on their dreaming. And they had two things principally: holopholinity, and then they used an element that was like a drug called pistazium. So right here, we're seeing a cat, a Lemurian cat, in front of the orb of holopholinity. And so this orb of holopholinity would empower the cats to visualize what they want. Oh, and so let's go into the tracking here. Right? This is in Italian, I know, but this is a reference to different space races. So it's important to note because the felinos here, Lyrans, that's what we're talking about, felinos. But they had neighbors in other star systems. The reptilianos, were in the star system of Tuban. The Sirianos in around the belt of Orion. Pleiadians in the Pleiades. And I think the grays come from Zeta Reticuli. I actually don't know what the Acrij are or the Shias, but Arcturians are from Arcturus. So there were different races, and that's kind of important to know. We're going to come up to that in a minute. Another thing is that, so what I'm talking about, it's not just something that I made up. This is a graphic that I got from the internet, and it's showing different starseed races. And many people around the world believe that they are descended from one or more of these races. So people think that they have a spiritual connection with the Arcturians or the Pleiadians or the Greys or the Reptilians, sometimes known as the Anunnaki, etc. So, go forward. Now, on the cat planet itself, Lemuria, they also have racial diversity. So it's similar to planet Earth. We have, people of different colors here and different ethnicities. They have different kinds of cats with different colors, just like we have different kinds of cats with different colors on Earth. And racial issues were not really a problem in ancient Lemuria. And so, go forward. This is a Lyran cat priestess. So the cats actually were bipedal, and they were part humanoid, part feline. And the cat priestesses, the society was basically divided into two classes, which are very similar to the Hindu classes of Kshatriya and Brahmin. And the Brahmin would have been the females, and it divided along gender. The Brahmin would be the females, and the Kshatriya would be the male. So we see the cat lord and the cat priestess. So the lords, they were involved in mechanical things, in military things, in business, and the priestesses were involved in the spiritual and the psychic and the artistic. There was crossover between both classes, but there was a basic kind of division of labor in the cat planet. And the most important thing, the most sacred thing, was the orb of holophility, which I showed you a little bit earlier, which generated the power of the mind for the entire cat society and allowed them to transform the world around them. So here we can see the trinity of cat goddesses emerging from the orb, being invoked by the cat priestesses dancing ritualistically in the background. And, we were talking about the Lemurian lifestyles. Well, I don't know how well you can see this, but here's a sheriff and an inquisitor, punk rock musician. These are cats that are turning into food, and we're going to talk about that very soon, because that was a real problem, was that cats didn't want to be cats. They wanted to be various types of food. And this was really a problem for the cats, ultimately. So one of the most valued careers for young cats, particularly males, was becoming an astronaut. Space travel was very highly regarded in Lemurian society. So you can see these cat astronauts here, but you see the interesting thing is, it's a little bit hard for us terrestrial humans to wrap our heads around this, to look into this ancient civilization, because the height of their civilization was over 100,000 years ago and in a different star system. 23 light years away is what Vega is for the planet Earth. Anyhow, so they actually were using their minds to travel through space. And they're shown here with these astronautic. Oh, here's another thing that's not so common: banking. The cats actually, very few cats were interested in banking. This was a very rare type of creature on the cat planet, but more common here on Earth. Okay, so, but very popular in Lemuria was music, and they loved music. The cats were constantly playing music and dancing. They spent most of their time playing music, dancing, making love. Cats were very romantic all the time.
Is that Pussy Riot?
Huh?
Is that Pussy Riot?
And I'm not sure what the name of the group is. I think that, I don't think they were so political as Pussy Riot, but that's a good, I get you now, Pussy Riot, like, yeah. I get it. Well, maybe so, Pussy Riot. And so they had groups that were very analogous to, what we've experienced here on Earth. This is kind of like Cabby Road, you see. Yeah. And, this one would be a little bit like Kiss here. Right? Okay. Oh wait, it's a little slow. Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here. Oh yes. These would be the, on the Lemurian cat planet, of course, David Bowie, he had a twin cat, and it was particularly disturbing. I mean, in fact, it was eventually banned. Like, it is just not considered a healthy spectacle. Okay, so let's get into the subject of feline transubstantiation and how the cats, okay. So here you can see, these are the emojis set up as a periodic table. And specifically, there is the rare element of pisazium, which is, our best way of thinking of it is a special element that you can make pizza from. And this was something that the cats could mine from kind of cheese-like asteroids that were floating out around the planet of Lemuria. And it was a very powerful kind of catnip for them. And the interesting thing about pisazium is that it enabled them to turn into whatever they wanted. But what cats want is pleasure. So what they found is that they could turn into the most pleasurable foods they could imagine. So cats would float around in outer space. Yeah, so this cat is just getting ready. It's really got quite a buzz going with pisazium at this point. And now this cat is actually manifesting the pizza and, is riding the pisazium wave. And then finally, the apotheosis, you could say. The cat is transformed into pizza in outer space and is floating there blissfully, as a, hot and cheesy, salty, oozing, and purring. And deep in the depths of space, somewhere in the constellation of Lyra, many cats were floating around doing this. Let's see. Doesn't want to leave this. Yes. And so the ability that cats have to shoot lasers from their eyes, that is actually called hyperfilinity. And it was like a military technology that they developed, the ability to shoot the lasers from their eyes. And to, it's one of the reasons that cats like lasers so much, like our modern cats, is that they have an affinity for lasers. So, here, decadence of pisazium, right. So it's very decadent, and I mean, the whole society was tending towards this. And so cats were just not really even being cats anymore. They were just hanging around, turning into food substances and enjoying themselves. It was a blissful state. Oh, yeah, so this is the end result. I mean, this is a cat that is just a basket case. It's reached that point of no return with the element of pisazium. And what happens is that